Hello, good morning to everyone. We are sorry for this delay. Here with us is Alessandro Guzmin. Hi, Alessandro, good morning.
Good afternoon from Italy. Good morning to America.
Gracias. I- I'm sorry for the pronunciation of your name, but I think I never pronounced this name before.
Jusmin.
Excellent. Well, we're gonna start if you want, Alessandro.
Yeah, of course. So, today we are going to make the presentation of the gate automation range products. So now we can share the sorry. Hope now you can see it perfectly. So let's start with the presentation. So we are going to introduce in the complete range of our products, gate automation. We'll focus mainly in the second part of the introduction to the sliding gate systems. So this is a complete range of products that we produce here in Italy. Our company is manufacturing these parts in Italy, and this is one of the four divisions that the Comunello company has. And this is, let's say, the last born. So this is the gate automation started to be in the market almost more than 10 years ago. So we now are pretty much we got much experience then. So there are products very well tested and very well known in the markets here in Europe, especially, but also in the other continents. We will give a look in the first part of the introduction of this presentation. We will see mainly the swing gates. Then we will give a look to them quite quickly. Then we'll be more focused, as I told you before, with the sliding gates systems. So let's start. Here we have a complete, as I told you, a complete range of products. The company is located in north of Italy, and we are working since 1965. So we can make a really short introduction of our company. We have many divisions, as I told you. Comunello, the gate automation is one of the four divisions that we have. So let's go ahead. All the products are designed and manufactured here in our company. We have also possibility to develop in this way very quickly specific products that you may need as a special products. I mean, this is something that this makes our company really quick in reacting to the customer needs whenever it's necessary to develop something specific for the customers. And this is one of the main points of our success in our business. Everything is done internally, as I told you. Everything is made and developed in our company. Quality is the most important thing of our products, and this is the reason why we are so appreciated during these years of business, also in gate automation. And we produce many of the most of the components are made in aluminum, so all the bases of the motors are produced internally by our company, and so also parts of the gear are made here. Plastic parts are made in companies very close to us here in Italy. So also the other parts that we don't produce directly are made with our molds, and also the electrical parts, the electrical components of the gates of the motors are produced with our machineries that we are giving to our suppliers. everything is very well tested and controlled. So all the motors are accurately tested at the end of the line. So it means that every motor is tested after being assembled. And with load cells, we make a simulation of a cycle of work, open and close, 2-3 times. It is tested if just only if the motor is within the standards that we grant, so for maximum force, maximum speed, and so on. It is printed the seal, so the label is printed. Otherwise, it is not printed, and the motor will go back to the beginning of the line. So it will be disassembled and assembled again. So in this way, we are sure 100% that all the motors that we are selling are tested and granted. So this is something very important, because quality is not an issue with gate automation. It is probably the most important thing. So this is not something that we do as a standard. It is very important for us, the quality. So let's go ahead with the choice of the actuator. We have a complete range, as I told you. So we have many different sizes of gates and motors that we can where you can install our motors. So we have, for all the type of motors, we have both a solution for residential and industrial needs. We got also some different choices between intensive use, or also with something with rest timing when they are used. We have versions of the motor in 24 volts or 230 and 380 for the European markets. We have also the versions in 120 volts for the American markets. So we have also many choices, many possible choices for the choice of the actuator that you may need. Many of the motors that we have use the technology of the magnetic encoder, so it is something very important for the perfect movement of the gate. So it opens and closes every time with a perfect and smooth movement, starting the ralentization when it's time to when it is set with the programming that we do. It means that all the movement is done smoothly. This is one of the most important things, to have a perfectly working motor. As I told you, it will be important to know, as first thing, it is important to know how long is the leaf length for every time we are going to choose a motor. And then it's important, of course, the weight of this leaf. So when we are going to choose, for example, a motor with in this case you can see 2 meters and 2.2 meters or 1.6 meters, we have to see which is the limit of weight we can we have when we are going to choose this motor. So this is a very important parameter to choose the right motor. After that, in all our instructions, you can see also the limits. So the dimensions of the pillar will determine which is the bracket that you need to place to make the perfect installation. So granting you the 90 degrees opening, or also more in some cases when it's necessary. It makes everything very accurate when we are going to choose which motor to install. These are measures that are necessary for the perfect installation. And in the catalog and in our website, you can find all this information. Also in the instructions manuals and in the catalogs, you can have plenty of this kind of information. You can download everything in our website, www.comunello.it. So there is also for sure the English and Spanish version for the users. This is a very quick example of how to determine which is the right bracket to install. For example, if we have the X at 120 and Y and the Y at 140, you can match the combination and you got all the information regarding which is the distance we have to place the brackets and which is the maximum angle we can reach. So we got this very important, this essential informations for a perfect and smooth movement. In case if we have not the possibility because the pillar is quite large or very deep, we have to choose some different and special brackets which are indicated with a different color on the table. After this, let's go with the motors. We have Abacus, which is the most important among the swing gates operators. It is very solid. It is a monoblock motor. It comes in 3 versions: 220, 300, and 500. 220 is for lifts up to 2.2 meters. Abacus 300 up to 3, and Abacus 500 up to 5 meters. As I told you, these are very resistant motors because they are a single block, a single unit of aluminum, and it makes it very strong. It is a very reliable also, and with the encoder version or the limit switches, we got a perfect movement in during the opening and closing phases. It is also quite silent as motor, and it makes it very good for domestic use, let's say for houses, and it is also very easy, the installation. It makes it every motor is easy to install, and it is developed to be easy for the customer, for the installer to be mounted. As I told you, it is important for all the sizes of the motors to determine which is the maximum weight and length that we have when we are going to choose the motor. As you can see here in the table, you got plenty of you got all the tables to check which are the limits for the installation. Looking down the bottom part of the motor, so where there are the mechanical parts, you can see that there is the movement is granted by multiple start endless screw. It makes it, as I told you, this is necessary for a smooth movement. And this is the gear that we have inside. Everything is greased with Arctic grease in this way. Also for low temperatures up to -20 degrees, the motors are granted. This is important especially for markets where the cold is a limit sometimes. As I told you, we got the possibility to have both mechanicals or electronic limit switches. These are necessary to be installed to set the stroke length. Regarding this block, the manual blocking, we got this key, which is it comes with the motor. It makes possible the manual opening in case of a fault of electricity, for example, or if something is going wrong with the motor. In some cases it may happen, of course. Let's go now to the Eagle, which is the underground motor. This is it has a single version, so it is for gates up to 3.5 meters. it is completely underground. It means that it's almost invisible. So it is, let's say, for a big value gates, it's something that can be installed because it makes the installation very clean and very nice looking. I mean, it is also this motor is also compatible with some of our competitors' basements, so you can install also in case you have a different the same type of motors but with different with our competitors box. As you can see inside, we got the motor. It is an IP67, so it means it is very well protected. It has a very high protection to water. This is because there were many improvements in these motors during the years, following which are those that are the necessities of the customers. So the IP67 means that the motor can work underwater for more than 30 minutes. It means that it is almost waterproof, let's say. So it is very important for to have a perfect product for these difficult maybe installations. All the levers are they comes with the motor, so we got the levers that makes the movement for opening and close system. Then we have possibilities of electromechanical switches for a perfect closure and motor time. Everything is protected, as I said, especially the gland that it has some an internal resin, so all the cables cannot bring water inside the circuits and inside the electrical components. So everything is completely waterproof. This is the reason why we have the IP67. There are also the caps made in gum, made of that cannot allow any kind of water entrance in the motor and in electronic parts. As I told you, we have also possibility of different foundation box which are necessary to locate the motor underground. So we have these possibilities, and also we have the accessories to make a special opening of also 180 degrees. So in case of very difficult spaces, because there are some obstacles, for example, we have the possibility to have 180 degrees opening also. Let's go with another motor, which is a Condor. It is with the articulated arm. It is a 250 and 220 and 350. Installation measurements are also important, as we saw before with Abacus. This is a very reliable motor also, and the limits are similar to Abacus. The control unit is inside the motor in this case, while with Eagle and Abacus we would need, for example, the control unit is not in the motor. The control unit will be in a quad, an outside quad, which could be placed, for example, in the pillar. With this motor, we got the control unit in the motor. It's on board. It comes really easy, maybe with installation in this case. So we just have to connect the cables to the control unit, which is inside the motor. So everything is independent, let's say. Just need to bring the power supply to the motor. As you can see, all the gearing and the mechanical parts are really of great quality. We have also versions with encoder. The manual blocking is very easy with a lever that comes out with a key. it makes it very, very easy to disblock in case of electrical faults or some damages. After this, as we can see, we have different also possibilities of special arms in case of different pillars of bigger dimensions, for example. So in many cases, we have also many choices of different arms depending on the cases and the most difficult installations. Condor 500 is the bigger version of the other Condors. It has a different shape, as you can see, and it is for gates up to 5 meters. This is, as you can see, the long arm is because of longer gate. So it is important. It is a very important solution in case of big pillars, as I told you. Here we have the dimensions that we have to check, and this is the limit of use. So up to 5 meters, we can also have very heavy gates of 400 kilograms, for example. Many of these motors, as you could see maybe before, they comes also could be also with the kit. The kit includes a couple of photo cells, 2 remote controls, the lightning, and the flashlight, sorry, and also the table to indicate for the automatic gate indicator. Then we have also the possibilities then to have more accessories and special brackets and special arms. Condor 500S is for a small pillar but long leaf. It is a motor that was created because of some special conditions in many markets that are will not allow to use the very large condor that we saw before. So it was necessary to develop a different kind of motor for small pillars on big leaves. And these are the limits. It is for smaller weights. Okay, let's go straight with this part. We got all the indications of. Then we have RAM. RAM is telescopic spindle actuators. It is considered a kind of basic motor. So it has no endless. It has no end strokes. It has no encoder. So it is a very basic motor, which is very popular in cases where it is very important to have something competitive, where the price is important. So in some cases this motor is used, but as I told you, it has all the functioning of this motor is made with a control unit. So the motor time that we are going to set with this motor, it is very important, because otherwise the motor will continue to push for a long time. So this is the reason why this motor is considered a basic one. As we can see, we have similar dimensions also with the other motors, so around 220, 300, and 500, depending on the length of the leaf. The quality, however, of this motor is also very good, because the quality of the material is good. I can anticipate you that soon we will have a new version of this motor. So probably from the beginning of next year, something new about this motor will be available. This is something very important, because as you can see, the Comunello company is always developing new products, and these new products are also thought for the American markets, which have some special needs, especially in Central and South America, let's say, mostly. So this shows you also how much our company is investing in development of the motors. Let's As you can see here, the complete range of products that we saw before. Let's go now to see the sliding gates. So the part which is maybe the most important for your market today. For this type of motor, we have some motors which can be used for intensive use and others that need a little time to rest out when they're working. So they have a 50% intermittent work. It means they can open after maximum 60 seconds, then to rest. When in the catalog, in technical sheets, you can always see if they are with the intensive use, if they are developed for intensive use or not. Let's see now. Ford, it comes with many sizes. It is the only name, let's say, of sliding gates motor, but it comes for many different sizes of gates. As you can see, Ford 400 is for up to gates of 400 kilograms and so on. All the models that we'll see are developed to be installed with motors up to the number that they have. It means that for 500 is up to 500 kilograms, for example. As you can see here, 600, 800, 1000, and 1500 are the sizes of the motors and the gates we are going to install. With these motors, as I didn't mention before, it is possible in case of failure of some damages to ask for spare parts. Of course, we have some spare parts in case damages of some components, for example, the carter outside or some internal components. Is possible to make the substitution of them. We, as a technical assistants, I work in technical assistance, so you can always call us for spare parts. You can describe your problem. Sometimes we have a service that is here to help our customer in all their needs when it's necessary. Also with the also for formation and so on. So we can train all our customers in the best way. Let's move on. As you can see, this is the maximum speed that our motors have. The motors in 24 volts have a speed which is a little bit higher than the motors in 230. So also it means it is the same also for 120 volts motors that are used in the American markets. As you can see, Ford has the control unit on board, so the connection of the accessories and of the motor is made inside the motor, so everything is easier when you are going to make the installation. The built-in central has also the receiver integrated, so it means that in this part also the remote control signals are sent. The HP control unit grants you a full range of functions. So let's say that all the principal functions are in the main menu. Then we have some sub-menu that we have 3 sub-menus that allow you to make all the specific type of programming. Let's say that in the main menu you got the principal functions that are mostly used. Then for something more specific, you got other menus that you can reach with the 2 keys that we have. We just have 2 keys to make the settings. So it is a select and set to move in the menu and then to set the function. It's really easy. We have also with Forte the possibility with the 24 volts version, the possibility of housing a battery, a backup battery. So in case of electricity fault, you can make you can use the battery. Yes. The installation of the motor is very easy with the fixing with four screws to be placed in the ground. We have the possibility also to have mechanical and magnetic switches for a perfect movement and to stop the gate in the right position. The magnetic is very accurate, let's say. We can also make some adjustment in sometimes in the eighth of the motor, so we can have this small possibility of adjustment that sometimes is necessary for the perfect connection of the motor pinions and the rack on the rack on the gate. As you can see, also the spring that generally it is used for as a hand stroke as a seal of protection, which doesn't allow water to go in the electrical parts. So also in this case, is everything is done to protect the electrical parts, which are the most sensitive to water and moisture. Magnetic hand stroke, as I told you, is an optional component that it is suggested in many cases, as I told you. We can see here also all our motors, as I told you, are with the Arctic grease, which make them really suitable also for low temperatures working. Let's give a look closer to the lateral screw, which makes perfectly closed on the side motor. So even if it is made of plastic outside, it is still a very strong and robust structure. We have also a bigger version of Ford motors, 200, 2500 and 3500. So very for industrial use. These have a special electronic and they are used here in Europe. They also have the industrial power supply 380 volts. So they are for very intensive and very big gates, up to 3.5 tons. So it's something very big. As you can see, inside the structure is completely different, especially on the motor. It is with an inverter, so it comes something really strong. This is how it looks outside. We have also some heat dissipation vents to avoid a too hot conditions inside the motor, which could be a problem for the electronics, of course. Let's go ahead. As you can see, this is like just a summary of the gate sliding gate motors that we have. As I told you, it is important to know that we have the perfect motor for each kind of size of the gate. This is something important to understand, to remember. Very quickly now we are going to check also the range of garage doors that we have for sectional doors. We have Rampart, and which comes in two versions, 600 and 100 and 1000, depending on how big is the sectional gate. It can also be installed on counterbalanced counterweights doors, which are, I don't know if they're used in America, but they are the Rampart are used also for this type of mod with this type of motors and for this type of doors. And Salient is also just for counter for this for the bascular motors, as you can see, for this type of gates. Very quickly, they have some special electronics for the setup, which is very easy. Then we have the road barriers. We have limit and border. Limit is the limit barrier is from barriers from 4. We have version from 4 to 8 meters maximum. They can also be double, of course, one in front of the other. Limit 800 is the barrier up to 8 meters openings. Border is the basic one with just for up to 4 meters. It is the basic product. All these motors have a spring that makes it perfectly balanced. And then depending on how much we charge the boom, we will have to choose the right spring in the right position for all these motors, both border and limit. We have plenty of accessories also for these motors. As you can see, the limit are nice looking. Also, the design of all our motors is important because, as you could see, the design also of the swing gates and the sliding gates motors is something that we are very focused on. To grant you, the quality is also on how the motor and the products looks like. So also the design is very important for us. As you can see here, you can see very quickly the quality of the internal parts of the motor, and everything is done to resist and to last as much as possible. We have also the possibility with the limit to have the traffic light solution, so with the LED in green and red, depending on just like a traffic light. Okay, so we have plenty of accessories for a limit, also for the 800, which has the round boom, and that's it. Okay, so I hope I did it everything in time. So if you got questions.
Yes, we have some questions here, and I don't know when he wrote this, but says the unit comes with both mechanical and electronical backstop.
It depends on the version of the motor that you order. Some motors as just the mechanical end stops, so it is just a block that it is placed, for example, with abacus. But then if you want, you can order as optional parts the electrical end stops, and also in case of with the sliding gates with the forte, you can also have the magnetic end stops. The magnetic end stops, as I showed you briefly before, it has not a spring that makes the end stops. It is not a spring that makes this movement on one side or the other when it is reached, but the magnetic end stop on the rack will make stop the gate exactly in the point when it is in front of the magnetic reader. This is very accurate, as I told you, but all these parts are optional, so you can choose. It's up to you, it's up to the customer choice to select the mechanical end stops or the electrical one, or magnetic in case of sliding gates.
Perfect. We have another question here. Are the units also for indoor installations, like a main entrance of a building?
Pardon, I didn't understand. Are for the control units are for
Indoor installations for inside.
Well, of course, they generally all these motors are thought and developed to be installed outside, but of course they can also be indoor. without problem. The control unit generally it comes with or on board or with a quad, which is also mounted outside, but they can be also installed indoor, of course. It is something easier than also, let's say, indoor.
Excellent. And I think we have one last question that it says,
Yep.
does the units have additional inputs or outputs to connect to an access control system?
Of course, all the control unit, as we didn't see much in detail the control units, but the HP control unit, which is generally in most of the kit also of our motors, this control unit will grant you the possibility of connection with many systems, with many accessories, from photo cells to pushing buttons, other receivers, and so on, and also with the connection with other devices like smart home systems and so on. So everything can be managed by these. We don't have our app yet for the smart home systems, but you can connect everything to the control unit. It is compatible with these systems, of course.
Thank you, Alessandro. Let's see if we have another question.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like don't. Thank you, Alessandro. Thank you
My
for sharing
pleasure.
this. Thank you for sharing this valuable information about Comunello. And thank you everyone for your time this morning to join us with this webinar. Let us know about your next project, and we have our support team at EPCOM, and Alessandro will help us too. As we mentioned, this webinar will be sent to your email. Alessandro, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And thanks again for your time this morning. Have a great day and a great night, Alessandro.
Great evening. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.